I remember when I came to McLaren. At the time, I was together with Ayrton the star. I was coming from Ferrari, winning the races. Ayrton was just arriving in McLaren, coming from Lotus. And Ron Dennis says to me, Gerhard, you are a brilliant driver. You are really big natural talent, but we have to shape you. You are a diamond, but we have to shape you. You cannot use the curbs in the way you're doing. You need to be clean. You need to be... And obviously I was listening, a lot of experience there. But was it the right way to listening? I don't think so. I just should stay like I've been, using the curbs, sideways, whatever. Because that was my natural instinct, that was my nature. And that's the same when you tell me, if you would be just focused, if you would not go to the party, would it really make me more successful? I don't know. I doubt.
Well, look, tell us a little bit more about Ayrton Senna. What was he doing differently in the car then that made him faster than you?
Well, I think it wasn't a question of speed. It was a question of the package. Obviously, Ayrton had a big advantage to me. He started when he was 4 years old with karting, and he had already 400 races behind him when he started in Formula One, where I started racing when I was 21. Obviously, I was with 24 already in Formula One, but in total, I think I had about 40 races from zero to Formula One. So you never can get this experience back. So from this side, Ayrton was an extremely experienced guy, in combination with a lot of natural talent, in combination with a really good brain. He was very switched on. He was a street fighter, Brazilian street fighter. And then he had a big ability to concentration. I mean, he had an extremely strong concentration. And that made him different to all the rest. I mean, I think you could cut off his hand and he still wouldn't feel it until the race was over. And that gave him an extra boost.
Now, when you came into McLaren at the start of 1990 and you out-qualified him in Phoenix at the opening race, that must have been a bit of a shock for him. But were you surprised that you'd put one over on him so soon?
No, I was not surprised at all because, on this moment, all my teammates, in some way I could beat. Out of just my natural talent, because I never went to physical trainings, I never did anything, and I just talent. But that was also my big handicap, because it allowed me until this moment to handle it in the way I was handled. So when I signed up for McLaren, I have to say I was quite naive, because I thought Ayrton just going to be the next one, what's going to be in troubles. And I went to Brazil, and and Ayrton was the king of the rain. First day was practice in the wet, I was quickest. Second day was practice in the dry, I was quickest. So I said, well, that's not a big deal. Unfortunately, I crashed because really the car was made for Alain Prost, and I was stuck with my legs between the pedal because I really had not space in the car, so it didn't worry me. And so the race was over. I felt good. I went to holiday like usual to have some fun. Ayrton went back to Brazil, thought about everything, come back, and I never beat him again.
But do you think McLaren gave you a fair crack of the whip throughout those 3 seasons?
Yes. I have to say, I mean, we all know the up and downs of Ron Dennis and the thing, but he always been extremely fair to me. The team was a family for me. We had a fantastic time with Monsu, with Ron, with Ayrton, with the mechanics and the managers at the time. It was really a big family, with big fun, with very competitive, and it was one of my best time in racing. Obviously, I spent 6 years in my career with Ferrari, and Ferrari has some special glamour, and they've been also fantastic to me. So I talk sometimes more about Ferrari, but I have to say McLaren was as good as Ferrari to me. And now we are sitting here in the McLaren motorhome, and I have to say I love the brand, I love McLaren, and when I see the old guys, they've been all super to me.
Well, look, we'll come on to Ferrari in a minute, but just a couple more questions on Senna. Do you feel he was fair to you? Did he ever try and mislead you on setup? Or?
No, I think he was playing the game, of course, as everybody do, and as I did. As I said before, he was an extremely clever guy. I mean, the way how he played the games, it was not in a way that you understand it straight away, typical Brazilian way. But in the end, we've been friends, no question. And I tell you, I think if I would be in the shit, he would help me, and if he would be in the shit, I would help him. We had a real honest relationship.
Were you closer to him than any other driver at that time?
Difficult to say, because in the end of the day, Prost gave him the hardest time. Alan was obviously, with his experience and also his talent. I mean, Alan is 4 times world champion. He's a very special driver. He challenged Ayrton to the maximum, as we remember. But when you look into qualifying times and things like this, I think I challenged Ayrton a lot. And I remember well Ayrton sometimes coming to me. I remember qualifying in Imola. I went out to bowl, he went out to bowl, I went out to bowl, he went out to bowl. And we was sitting for the last run, and he put his belts off, got out of the car, come over to my car, and I say, shit, it's getting a little bit dangerous slowly. And I had a laugh, and we just go for it. So we pushed each other very much. But in the end of the day, the result of Ayrton was better than my ones. He won the World Championship.
Now, what about the joking with Senna? Because part of me wonders whether that was your way of dealing with sitting alongside the best driver in the world, all the practical jokes. Was that your way of dealing with the pressure, or was that just Gerhard Berger?
Really, that just was myself, It was just a time. I mean, sometimes now I even shake my head and say, well, was it the right thing to do? But at the time it was, And we had a tough sport. I had a very tough competition in the team. We had also, at this time, still more dangers involved. We've been in more risk. So it needs a compensation, and we had this with doing some fun, doing some nice holidays, doing some jokes to each other.
And was Senna a funny guy? Did he deal with your sense of humour?
No, he was a funny guy. He reached sometimes the limits with my jokes. I think some things went a bit over the top on his view. But
give us an example.
No, we had every day something going on, and he just couldn't sometimes believe it. He just sit down, but it doesn't matter. I don't like to go back to this too much, because it puts our racing then a little bit in the shadow, because in the end of the day we had extremely tough racing, qualifying, over 1,000 horsepower cars, steering, brakes, whatever, all shifting, one hand driving, one hand shifting. It was a time where Formula One was maybe on his peak, and we managed these cars, and we raced wheel on wheel, and I think that's what I like more to remember than the jokes.